It's absolutely chucking it down outside. So I thought, what can you do when it's absolutely chucking it down outside? And I thought, I know, let's take another video together and have a chat with you about something Giz mentioned in his recent videos about school discipline and how the teachers in them days used to, well, they didn't used to hold back on punishment, that's for sure. Any road. So I'm just loading my pipe at the minute. I fancied having a bowl while I was chatting with you. So did I mention that Giz gave me a load of Irish twist? Well, he's not so keen on it, and I must admit it is quite strong, and it's got a very distinct flavour to it. And I've noticed actually that it's a bit of ghosting going on some of my old pipes. I've tried it in a couple of my pipes to see which one's the best. Anyhow, it certainly left a ghost behind. So I am diluting it by mixing it with a bit of clan. So I'm going to call this Bob's Blend. Well, why not? That's how everybody makes their own backy up, innit? They try a bit of this and they try a bit of that and they give it that and they call it something daft. So I'm going to call this the mixture of old Irish twist and clan. Bob's Blend. So, anyway, let's have a little chat while we can't go out to play because it's raining. Giz was saying about discipline at school, and we had some right rum bugger teachers. Well, bloody hell, we did. They didn't, they're not of the generation when they say, I'm not your teacher, I'm your educator, or I'm your friend, call me John, or Dave. It was either Sir, or Mr, whatever, or the other. It was quite a different story when we were at school, but anyway, Giz and I, we've spent... Well, Giz and I have known it. Yeah, we've probably known each other since we were 4 or 5 years old. We were at the same primary school together, and as we went through primary school, we were pals, and then we went to the same secondary school. Don't recall being in the same class all the time as Giz. We did have separate... What's happened here with this? Hang on a second. Sorry about that. We had a slight technical error there, but it seems to have sorted itself out now. Anyway, yeah, as I was saying, that... Giz was telling you a story about one of our teachers, Mr. McConnell, a remarkably educated man, and he was known for that. Giz mentioned about the car aerial he used to keep in his pocket, and he had a pen stuck in the end, so when it was all concertinaed up, he could write with it. But if you needed discipline in your class, he'd like that, and it'd come out and he'd crack you with it. And he'd give you either a meathead or a smack on the back of your knuckles. He was known for it. I don't know I think Giz might have had him for history, but we had him for geography, I think. Yeah, I think we had him for geography. But anyway, he insisted upon, as I say, he was a disciplinarian, and he insisted upon having order in his classroom, and he wouldn't allow any chit-chat or conversation going on. And it became very obvious throughout the time of your school time that he could pick up on the slightest whisper in the classroom. And so much so that he acquired the nickname Jodrell Bank. For those of you from not around this neck of the woods, Jodrell Bank is an enormous radio telescope that was built in 1945. Well, the department that it's situated on was set up in 45 as an astrophysics laboratory sort of thing. Anyway, in 1957 they built this enormous. At the time, it was the biggest steerable radio telescope in the world, but as things have changed, it's now the third biggest. But I've got its dimensions here. It's got it's 76 metres across, and you can pretty much see it from any elevated position in and around Cheshire. It's quite a dominant feature. It was used a lot during the space race, and it was one of the first to track Sputnik when the Russians sent that up. And so there you go. You get the idea. It's this big radio telescope. Interesting side note, with it being steerable, they actually salvaged the bits that move the gun turrets on two ships, HMS Revenge and HMS Royal Sovereign. they used them so they could turn this big bloody radio telescope about. Anyhow, hey, SETI had a go there as well. SETI were based there for a bit, so they were having a listen out for any ETs ringing home. Anyway, Mr. McConnell, Jodrell Bank. Remarkable gentleman. But yeah, he used to have this car aerial, and he used to use it as a weapon to punish naughty school kids that chide in his class. Jodrell Bank. Hey, it's funny what you remember. I'll tell you another story about another disciplinarian another time. Next time Giz touches on it, because unfortunately, my character being as it is, I was apt to larking about a fair old bit at school. So I did receive the business end of a number of slippers and belts and and canes once or twice, I must admit. But then were the days. Happy days. But Jodrell Bank. It's not a bad brew, this, actually. A clan and... I've gone out. Clan and Irish twist. Yeah, there you go. Bob School Days with Giz. Pair of buckets.
Harry. What is it, Harry? What he likes is me tobacco. He likes the smell of it, don't you? You like the smell of it? You like the smell of it. Greetings, everyone. Have a swig of this. Just carrying on the conversation from what we were talking about. School times. Bob was on about it. Mr. McConnell. Well, I can remember a certain teacher. She was a French teacher, and she looked like the witch of the Wizard of Oz. You know, not you, my pretty. She looked just like her, and she behaved just like her as well. She'd get you to stand at the top, of the class and get you to try and talk French. And if you got it wrong, she'd slap you across your face, bang, like that, bang. I remember one day, she was walking to the canteen along this thing called the Covered Way, and this lad, it was an icy day, it was just snowing, and he got this football, and he booted it as hard as he could, and it hit her, knocked her straight over and knocked her out. And everyone, he was an hero, he was, after that, even though he got suspended. But yeah, they were proper school days, they were. Anyway, I'd been to Bolton before, and found the Arthur Morris tobacconist absolutely fantastic. And I got myself another corn cob from there with a bigger bowl. Look at that, Missouri corn cob. I think that's the legend one. Amazing how they make these out of corn, and they just grow corn in the fields, and then they dry out for 2 years, and then you get them on a lathe, and they make it, and a fantastic smoke, absolutely awesome. So I've got one of them. What else did I get? I've got some, what's he say? This is a sweet peach tobacco, 25 grams, and I also got this one. This is Scotch whiskey. Scotch whiskey, and actually, oh yeah, it's a bit of smelly vision, isn't it? Oh, that does smell like Scotch whiskey. In fact, I gotta give that a blast now. So load this one up. I thought I'd come out and have a nice smoke. So we'll see what the Scotch whiskey's like. Put that in there. Cat's right next to me. Hey, Harry. He loves it. I think he likes the smell. So this is Scotch whiskey, aromatic tobacco, made in Kendal. Oh, yeah, I can see what I mean. Tamper down. Hey, that's good. That's really good. Yeah, going back to school days, so Bob could be a bit of a joker at school, as he is, as you know, already. And one day he had one of these in his top pocket. His son's out. Dentist mirror. Son's over there, isn't it? And he, look at that. This teacher, Mr. Allen, we used to call him Rudolph. He had a really big nose, obviously. That's why we called him Rudolph. Well, he was one of the teachers. There was only a few of them that couldn't control the class. He had no idea, you know. And he used to write. He'd write your name, everyone's name on the blackboard, and he'd put a tick next to it to make you stay. 10 minutes tick. If you get so many ticks, you got like detention, whatever. But you couldn't control the class at all. Anyway, one day Bob's got this in his top pocket. The sun's out, and he had a bald patch on the back of his head. He's writing on the blackboard, and he's got the reflection off the light, and he stuck it on the back of his bald head, right there. Everyone's laughing their heads off. He turned around and goes, "What's going on? Yeah. And then he did it a few times, and he eventually turned around and he went, Bob got him right in the eye. He was like, and he used to go, shh. Anyway, Stevens, shh. Cummins, shh. Jones, shh. He put your name on the board. He just couldn't control the class, but he was a lovely guy. We met him. Went back and met him a few years later. And what a lovely guy, you know. I felt really guilty for, you know, calling him Rudolph. Yeah. Well, that's a story. Yeah, it's nice, this. See you soon.